commemoration to a historic 2019 run for WSU soccer at the lower soccer field in Pullman, and a neat story shaping up for a heated matchup on this Sunday afternoon between Washington State and Oregon. We'll have more on former Washington State assistant Graham Abel bringing in his Oregon Ducks to Pullman today, looking to upend a Cougar team that's on the outside looking in of the current NCAA tournament picture. But today, Oregon presents a unique challenge for Washington State. Yes, the Ducks have struggled offensively, scoring just 10 goals this season, but the defense has only allowed 11. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for this team in Graham Abel's first year. Signs of growth in this program continue to pop up across the Cascades on Friday. Oregon really saw some spectacular efforts on the back line, denying the Washington attack, but 3 of Oregon's 7 shots on the day came in the first overtime, but the flurry sent away by the Huskies, who eventually, in OT number 2, scored on a 106-minute corner kick to win it. On the other side for Washington State 2 nights ago, Oregon State grabbed an early lead 2 minutes in, but that jolted the Cougs and Makamai Gomera-Stevens, who converted off a short corner to even the game at 1 in the 15th minute. At that point, had scored the Cougs' last 3 goals on the season, but she'd get some help later. It was 1-1 at the half. In the 54th minute, Mackenzie Frimpong-Ellertson able to set up a go-ahead goal, crossing to the feet of Elise Bennett, who hammered it home with a right-cleated one-timer. Bennett's team-leading 6th goal of the season, and the first of a couple critical Frimpong-Ellertson assists. Oregon State evened the match exactly a minute later, but the Cougs had 1 strike left. Frimpong-Ellertson, in her first multi-assist match of her career, fed Akila McLinn, who had a shot redirected in front of goal by Grayson Lynch for the would-be game winner in the 65th minute. So it sets up nicely for today, a stingy Duck defense and a Washington State attack that is back in its groove. And we've got Sunday Pac-12 women's soccer coming to you next from Pullman on Pac-12+.
Crisp afternoon in Pullman for Pac-12 women's soccer on this Sunday afternoon. Trevor Williams, the rest of our Pac-12 crew, glad to be here with you to bring you Oregon and Washington State as they go through the starters for these two sides. Taking a look at the Ducks here this afternoon. Big news is that Jordan Wormdahl will, for the first time this year, not be making a start in a match that she's available in. Missed the entirety of the April 4th match against Colorado, was back on the pitch against the Huskies on Friday, but not getting the start today. So you see the Ducks line up there. Leah Freeman really steals the show in net. .73 goals against average. We told you this Oregon defense, that's going to be what the Cougars have to come up against this afternoon. Is Freeman on the season already broke Oregon's scoreless streak record. She went nearly 472 minutes from March 12th to April 2nd. Head coach for the Ducks, Graham Abel, first season was an assistant for Washington State back in 2010 and 2011 and came to Oregon from the U.S. women's national team where he was an assistant coach. Over on the Washington State side, we'll see how the Cougars side matches up here this afternoon. Marissa Zucchetto in net, of course, the senior transfer coming over to the Cougars in 2018, led the nation in shutouts and made a huge save at the end of the Oregon State match to save it for Washington State in a 3-2 victory. Other big news for the Cougars, Grayson Lynch making her 5th start of the year. It's her first since March 19th on the road against the Washington Huskies. And Khalees Barton, 2nd start of the season, also started against USC last Sunday in a match in which the Cougars put up a nice defensive effort, just couldn't get a shot to fall in net. This is an important one for Washington State this afternoon. Cougars trying to get to 7-3-1. It would put them above 500 in Pac-12 play at 3-2-1. The Cougars still have designs of trying to make it into the NCAA tournament this year, which has been chopped down to 48 teams. The Cougars entering the weekend with an RPI at 57, so kind of right on that bubble, this Washington State soccer team, and hoping to make some moves on this Sunday afternoon. So you see the Cougars side there, their head coach Todd Schulenberger in his 6th season at Washington State, 67 wins for Coach Schulenberger, and he's done a fantastic job against Oregon as well. Same story as we told you about Oregon State. Schulenberger had led the Cougars to 4 of 5 against Oregon State, which became 5 of 6. It's the same story here this afternoon, and his teams have outscored Oregon by the same mark as they had Oregon State coming into play on Friday at 8-4. We'll take a break. We'll come back. It's the first touch, Washington State and Oregon, as we get started this afternoon for Sunday Soccer on Pac-12+. All right, here we go. Soccer time in Pullman. Bit of a crisp day. If we were here 24 hours ago, would have been a thin layer of snow on the field as it snowed on the Palouse, melted off rather quickly in a warmer afternoon, but it's about perfect weather for soccer. Not too hot, beautiful clear skies overhead, and we've got Oregon and Washington State. WSU looking to make it 4 consecutive wins over the Ducks, and Oregon trying to split a weekend up here in the Northwest after some heartbreak on Friday afternoon on Montlake, losing in double overtime on a corner kick. We're ready to roll this afternoon in Pullman. Oregon will start with possession. True Didasco to make the first pass, and Oregon will set this out of the back. Black kits, yellow numbering for the Ducks, white kits, crimson numbering and lettering for the Cougars. Limited capacity crowd here. Into the box. It's settled down at the feet of Hassenauer. Cougar defense working to get it out. Here's Gomera Stevens, who had the first of 3 goals on Friday night for Todd Schulenberger's Cougars. So Marissa Zucchetto will get the first opportunity to set it for the back for Washington State. Cougars have won 3 straight against Oregon, as we mentioned, and an 8-match unbeaten streak against the Ducks. Oregon, though, a tough defensive unit. Only allowed the 10 goals this season. As Grayson Lynch told you, making her 5th start and first since March 19th at UW. But a big weekend for Washington State. The rest of the matches here at home, and Friday was the return home to the lower soccer field after the Cougars played in the indoor practice facility to start the season. It was due to this 2020 season being played here in the spring of 21. The Cougars came back home in fantastic fashion, winning their 24th game at home in the last 4 seasons, 24-6-3 here at the lower soccer field, Washington State. They love this home. First shot is wide, and a good opportunity to mention a bit more about this cool story. The first-year head coach, Graham Abel, he helped recruit assistant coach Rachel Doyle to Oregon, and here's Doyle in a Washington State uniform years ago as she put some goals in for the Cougars. Was a really good player for Washington State. Rachel ended up playing a total of 76 matches. Those were starts, ranks 5th all-time in Washington State history. And again, brought to Pullman by Graham Abel, now working with Graham on staff at Oregon, as you see Graham on the right there and Rachel in the middle. So Rachel Doyle back at the lower soccer field for the first time in some time. Now coaching against her alma mater. Out of the back, Maness going to bring it on forward. Gomera Stevens bringing it back for Pulver. Cougars have some solid possession here in the attacking third. McGlynn looking to feed it across. Cortez got in the way of it. And Khalees Barton, who's making her 2nd start of the season, being chased back across midfield. Graham Abel liking the defensive effort here in the early minutes. Said of the match on Friday that his team never capitalized and built on what was a solid first 15 minutes of the match. Huskies were able to get themselves into the game, according to Abel, and then it became a scrappy game, and just said the Ducks never really regained control from that point on. Pulver looking for some room on a back touch, has it taken away by Hardy. Cougars look to build it again. Bit of a defensive-minded lineup to open this for Washington State today with the addition of Barton along the back. Lynch trying to head it to herself against two Ducks. It's going to be angled away by Palmer. The Cougars will have the throw. The last Oregon win in Pullman came in 2010, before those clips we showed you of Rachel Doyle and those couple goals in Pac-12 play. Those goals we showed you were 2 of 3 that she had in the 2012 season, and Doyle 5 career goals for the Cougars. But for Oregon, this also is the final road match of the season for the Ducks. They'll return home next week. Rivalry action against Oregon State. To the box, headed off. Rucker's going to clear it out for the Ducks. One shot so far belongs to Oregon and a chance to flip the field. This is the dangerous Allie Cook trying to feed left side over for Cortez. And Barton able to fend off the attack. Cook, who was on the run out of the center of that play, the sophomore from Coto de Casa, California, comes in tied for the Pac-12 lead with 3 game-winning goals and has attempted 37 shots this season for the Ducks. Really budding sophomore star for Graham Abel's Oregon Duck outfit. Gomera Stevens trying to save it just a hair too late. Cook's a big-time sophomore. Oregon also a tremendous freshman coming in Kaylin Harrington. Recruited to the Ducks as the all-time leading goal scorer in Oregon high school history. Have not seen Harrington this season at 133 career high school goals at West Salem High School. That the state record. Early on, both teams trying to feel out possession. Here it is again to Cook, and the shot's going to be well wide. Cook's first shot of the match. 38th of the season for the sophomore with the 8 career goals for the University of Oregon. Mentioned some limited spectators inside the lower soccer field today, spread out down below the camera positioning of this broadcast, and then there's some folks checking it out from hillsides beyond the lower soccer field as well. Buddy trying to scratch that soccer itch on this Sunday. Chance to take it away for Hassenauer. Instead settles in the middle of the field to Didasco. Race to the corner for Cortez and will not get there. So it's pretty cool when you consider Graham Abel coming back to Pullman, mentioned here in 2010-2011. Since Abel's departure, Cougars have only missed the NCAA tournament 1 year. That was 2016. There's a look at some of the spectators trying to catch a glimpse of this one from D Street behind the goal to our west. Foul called here, and it's against Washington State. Should shape up to be a good one today. We mentioned the Cougars' RPI is at 57th coming into the weekend. Oregon entered the weekend 69th in the RPI conversation. And it's big strides for this Ducks team. In a normal season, non-COVID year would be right on the cusp of those 64 teams. Got a player down in the box. Down was Eden Hardy, who's back up now, and the Cougars got the loose ball. So Zucchetto kicks it away from net for Washington State. Wilden meeting Cook in the midfield, and the 50-50 ball, one for the Ducks. Hassenauer trying to play it up to Hardy, who's back up and moving well. Having a race to it with Rieken, but was offsides. So we're almost in these first 10 minutes. Washington State, not a lot of sustained possession early on, and another that the Cougars will essentially give back to Oregon. Cortez has been on the move a lot in the midfield early on. Now to build from the back. Up towards Hardy. McGlynn trying to fight it away. Now Caitlin Shaw having to work it back once again. It's returned to Mia Palmer. Big step up by Maness, and it falls back through to Rieken. Bridget Rieken forward to Grayson Lynch. Being marked strongly by Croy Soto. Cook stepped in front of one, then the Cougars advance it forward. Elise Bennett trying to race into the corner against two Ducks. One hits the deck. It's going to go back to Oregon as Chardonnay Coran connected with Elise Bennett. The two shots so far owned by the Ducks in the opening 10 minutes of play. Throw stays with Oregon. All of a sudden, after the win on Friday for Washington State, small sample size for the Cougars, who've played 4 less matches than the Ducks, those 4 COVID cancellations in the month of March. But all of a sudden, the Cougars jump from 10th to 6th in the conference with the win on Friday. Conference standings being decided by points per match this year. Bennett trying to feed it back to Lynch inside the box. It's cleared for a Cougar throw. So Todd Schulenberger and the Cougars knew coming into this weekend that these were 2 big matches, and then they've got the rivalry matchup with Washington coming next weekend here at the Lower Soccer Field. So 3 big opportunities for results that could propel the Cougars into another NCAA tournament. Would be the 4th straight for the Cougs. And of course, had the tremendous run all the way to the College Cup a season ago. Zucchetto clearing it away. Good possession win by Shaw. Cook heads it up. Cortez going to run it to the corner. Back in middle, and it'll be cleared away by Micaiah Maness. Ducks have certainly had it. The better part of Washington State's attacking third in the opening 12 minutes of play. Cortez being pestered. Gets it away to Didasco and right back to Cortez. Little give and go for an end line cross. And Cortez able to win the corner. So the Ducks will have the first corner kick in the match this afternoon. To watch up in the setup close to net, Eden Hardy, who's at 5'10". Allie Cook, who's 5'9". They'll be able to sprawl to the net. Kick in from Cortez. It's held off the line by Bennett. And Gomera Stevens will send it wide with Shaw chasing it down for Oregon. In the box again. Maness trying to keep it away. Hassenauer offers it far too high in the goal. We'll see what Washington State can do to try to flip the field. Mentioned the College Cup run, and prolific scorer who hasn't started for Oregon yet in Kalen Harrington, but for Washington State, Trinity Rodman, player the Cougars expected to have, but didn't get to see in the fall because of COVID, and then got drafted and went pro. She scored her first goal last night in the NWSL. So congratulations to Trinity. Wasted no time getting to it at the start of the league season. Trinity was the youngest pick in the history of the NWSL. It's second overall. Back-to-back years, the Cougars had a second overall pick as Morgan Weaver was drafted 2 years ago. Of course, was instrumental part of that 2019 run for the Cougars as well. Oregon's got to feel good about the first 15 minutes of this one. Kind of similar to how it went against Washington, where the Ducks kind of controlled that opening portion and have had a lot more to show to it in terms of shots. 4 for Oregon already, and only 1 in the first half, the entire first half of the match on Friday. Cougars suffered a bit of a slow start on Friday themselves and fell behind Oregon State 1-0, but were able to claw back into it. Goal kick coming for Leah Freeman and the Ducks. The freshman from Berkeley has been fantastic for Graham Abel's team. Maybe no surprise for a coach that cut his teeth with goalkeepers. Has only allowed 11 goals this season, has 5 shutouts, the freshman, and that ties for 3rd best in the Pac-12. So Freeman looks to be a good defender of the frame. Should be around for a while for Oregon. McLinn up ahead, Frimpong Ellertson trying to get a through ball. Lynch trying to run it down. Lynch does along the side, saves to Gomera Stevens. Palmer trying to step into it. Let's see this swing around to the wide side for Washington State. Graham Abel really calling to his defense. Bennett hit the deck and was pushed by Megan Rucker. So the Cougars will reset it there. Can hear that Oregon bench really calling out to the Cougars, and pretty much everybody on that bench except for reserve keeper Charlotte Brisley up and jogging and staying warm. What's a day in the mid-40s here in Pullman? Wilden a header, and it'll be caught by Freeman. First shot for Washington State off that set-piece opportunity. So the first shot for Washington State after the second Oregon foul of the day. Freeman trying to cut it out to Cortez. Barton knocks it out of play. Called Cortez's name a lot. The junior defender from Hawaii with 6 shots this season, a goal and an assist. Bit of a spark plug on the left flank for the Ducks. Palmer trying to feed Cortez. Here comes a look at a cross. And it's falling into the midst of Zucchetto. Was defended as well by Khalees Barton along that end line. Another 50-50 ball won by Oregon. They've done a great job in the midfield off the goal kick so far. Be played forward towards Cook, but this is going to have too much pace. So we're at a bit of a standstill now, 18 minutes into action today. Conference picture got much clearer on Friday. UCLA wrapping up the regular season conference championship in the Pac-12. Cougars visited the Bruins and the Trojans a week ago and couldn't get out with a result in Los Angeles. That's what's made this weekend so important for Washington State. McLinn along the end line and able to fight off Hardy to earn another Cougar goal kick. So this defensive Oregon team has shown its stuff here so far today. Only one Cougar shot as we get closer and closer to halfway through the opening half. That Oregon backline's combined for 174 career starts. So maybe no surprise that they're flexing some experience. Didasco towards Cortez. Barton able to slip in front of it, but it just ends up out the side striping. A lot of that Oregon attack has been built off the left flank, trying to get Cortez into a crossing position in the corner flag. Frimpong Ellertson, a little pressure in her back. Pulver able to play it up towards Bennett. One move to get around Rucker, and then paced a little too far out in front. There's a foul. It was an advantage Washington State all the way back to that move that Elise Bennett made around Rucker. Once possession changed, it'll stay with the Cougars. It's the third Oregon foul. Bridget Reekin, the Coeur d'Alene native, will send it out of the back half towards the top of the box. It's pinballing around off some foreheads. Barton gets tripped up. See no whistle. Rucker came away with it, and then Barton knocks it out of play. Officials say nothing there. So we've seen Megan Rucker putting on some defensive moves for the Ducks. Only freshman to get a start this season for Graham Abel's Ducks. Cook trying to play it forward. There's nobody home on the backside as Zucchetto's able to wait for it to slide in the top of the box. These 50-50 balls have been consistently going to the Ducks. See a run down far side, and this time the Cougars able to take advantage of something towards the attacking third. It'll have to build out of the back. Frimpong Ellertson. Nice stop with the heel, but trying to feed the right side. Chardonnay Coran stepped in front. Another good showing by the Oregon backline, and that's what they did to pester Washington for the better part of 100 minutes on Friday. Cougars see the Huskies coming up this week, a top 25 team, and another big opportunity for Washington State. But plenty of work for both sides to be done on this Sunday. Cook to the end line, off of Reekin, and another Oregon corner coming up. Second corner kick of the match for Chai Cortez. The only goal of the season for Cortez, also her first career goal, was off a direct corner kick score March 28th at Cal. Knocked off the keeper and a Golden Bear defender. Gomera Stevens steps in front this time, and he'll turn the corner into a throw. So both defensive fronts are managing the match well so far. Oregon's midfield, though, has really won the battle to keep possession on Washington State's half. Cook trying to find some room to operate. Around Reekin, it was deflected, but bounces to Zucchetto. Chance to flip the field. Lynch looking for Bennett. Again, Coran clears it out of play. Oregon, we mentioned, has had some big results this year. Earlier in the season, like Oregon State, Oregon upended then number 3 Stanford. Also had a tie later in the year against the Cardinal. Playing with the defending national champions well. Up forward towards Bennett. Trying to work around Curran. Throw coming for Grayson Lynch. Lynch on a quick touch back from Wilden. Inside the box with the left foot, but the shot's wide. Crowd into that is just the second Cougar shot opportunity. And we'll see the first substitution. It is Jordan Wormdahl, the junior forward for Oregon, who we mentioned as an available player, missing her first start of the season.
For the Ducks, number 7, Jordan Wormdahl.
Was not going to be available April 4th against Colorado, so Wormdahl, who has 14 shots, 7 on frame this year, and a goal and an assist, checks in with some experience at the forward spot for the Ducks. Another midfield win for Oregon. Wormdahl's going to get to work right away. Tries to turn it inside. Nice job by Rican, but then couldn't be controlled by Menes. Cougar defense still backs it up. Frimpong Ellertson on the run, got to get around Shaw. Cut off by the Ducks and back through Hassenauer. Top of the 18, Cook faces up. Knocked from behind by Pulver. Barton to Wilden. And out wide to Lynch. Cougars happy to run it all the way back, and then finally Chardonnay Curran with no helpers behind her had to just tap it out of play for a Cougar throw-in, and Washington State will make its first substitution.
Coming into the game for the Cougars, number 16, Alyssa Gray.
So Grayson Lynch switches with Alyssa Gray. And the freshman, who is the Gig Harbor High School Female Athlete of the Year in 2019, 28 goals, 7 assists, comes in for the Cougars. Already 1 goal on 17 shots this season for Gray. Whistle advantage Oregon. It'll come back to the spot of the foul. Shots at a premium for Washington State, 2 this afternoon, 5 for Oregon, but nothing really threatening on frame. Cougars had 1 on goal, and it's been exactly nothing in between the pipes for Oregon. No shots on goal of the 5. Again to Cook. Had Menes right on her back. The side of the foot for Wilden, and Frimpong Ellertson trying to take it away middle of the field. Menes steps into it, but it's held in towards Cook. Bounce behind Rican, but Zucchetto's out to get it. No problem for Washington State. So the Cougars 4 fewer matches than the Ducks this year, but 6 more goals scored, with 16 for Washington State after 3 on Friday. But they are having a lot of trouble winning the midfield possession battle. And it's allowed Oregon to get pretty comfortable with the way this game is going. We'll see another substitution coming soon for Washington State as Margie DeTrizio gets ready. Menes had it redirected by Cook right away back to Cortez. Here comes some pressure. Bennett hitting the deck. Gomera Stevens gets into it, but a foul called on Bennett. A little too much into Soto. Bennett pleading her case, but getting aggressive there, trying to earn an opportunity for a counter the other way for Washington State. Take a look at that play back here. Bennett trying to get to the ball right in that spot. Gomera Stevens trying to angle it around. Held down by Palmer, and then Gomera Stevens tapped it out of play. If there's ever a day that's your day, it's probably when you have the last name Palmer on Masters Sunday. As Mia Palmer has for the Ducks, throwing it in. Has a few shots this season, 2 on goal, defensive regular, and big part of that defensive effort for the Ducks this season. Here it comes from Hassenauer, out right for Wormdahl. Too much pace into the corner. So 2/3 of our opening half has come and gone. No score in Pullman, and here is Margie DiTrizio.
Coming into the game for the Cougars, number 7.
Also a Laylee Hernandez Reprisa.
Number 14, Margie DiTrizio.
It's Mackenzie Frimpong Ellertson and Marin Wilden taking a seat for the Cougars. They'll get a rest the remainder of the half. Kind of glance to the shoulder of Hassenauer, stays with the Ducks. Hassenauer draws a crowd of Cougars. Here it flips. Bennett trying to get a run on. Cutting in from behind to clear it away. Curran. Big header by McGlynn. But the foot race to the far side will be won by Megan Rucker. Pair of freshmen racing after that one. Cortez getting another run towards the corner. Tries to pace one to Wormdahl, and it's defended nicely by Micaiah Maness. One of the big-time leaders of that Cougar defensive backfield. A great job to earn another corner or another goal kick for Marissa Zucchetto. Hernandez Reprisa gets a little contact from behind and a foul on Zoe Hassenauer. Hassenauer's been trying to get active and creating some opportunities, specifically for Jordan Wormdahl, who checked in past the halfway mark of the opening half. Is in the top 10 in career assists at Oregon, Hassenauer. Here it is to Wormdahl again. Maness will have to play it wide. Oregon's had the better pressure early on for sure. Kind of exclusively worked the left side of things through Cortez early on with Wormdahl in now. Play starting to come through this right side. Two Cougs on Wormdahl. Steps left, gets it through. There's nobody on the back end. Pulver going to knock it high for Gomera Stevens. Nice flick with the side of the cleat. But just didn't find Bennett. Makes a great play to get to that. DiTrizio wanted Bennett back, but a miscommunication. Bennett zigged when DiTrizio thought she was going to zag. And that freshman battle continues on the far side between Gray and Rucker. That was targeted at Bennett again, but over her attempt at a header and back to Leah Freeman. So one of the great things, you have an experienced back line that'll protect a freshman keeper, and Freeman's been fantastic. A .72 goals against average would be on pace for an Oregon record set in 2006 by Jesse Chatfield, .82. Another throw coming for Washington State. About 10 minutes left in the first half. Crowd looking for something to cheer about in Pullman. The hometown fans haven't seen a lot on the offensive side. 2 shots, 1 on frame. Bennett looking to work across. It was pushed away by Soto. Croy Soto, really the anchor of the Oregon backs, has played in every single minute of this season. After a deflection off Bennett, the rebound kicked out of play by Coran. Gomer Stevens showing towards the corner flag. Throw goes all the way towards Bennett. It's headed by Maness wide of net, and I think Maness might have taken an elbow to the side of the head. Kind of got up, grabbing towards that left ear, but jogs back to midfield now, no problem. Substitution for Oregon.
Ducks, number 19, Sophia Venus.
Sophia Venus playing in her 13th game. A lot of action as a reserve compared to the freshman year a season ago. So Venus comes in. Header by Hasenauer. Wormdahl running to it. McLinn able to turn around to Maness. Right on back to McLinn. Keeps it in along the side. But now it's to the top of the box. Rican playing it with her side. New check in Venus. To Cook now. Settles top of the 18. Rican blocks the shot. And then Pulver keeps it away. Bennett trying to find a way to get outside to Gray. Nice defensive play by Coran. Some good work along the Cougar back line. Bridget Rican, a big block of a shot from Allie Cook. For Cook's second shot of the match. Hernandez Represa gets a big shove. There's a foul. Todd Schulenberger wants a card. Nothing else coming here, just a possession for Washington State. Heard the Oregon side talking last possession, trying to keep it away from the center back of Washington State. They want to start feeding those outside crosses again. Gray towards the end line. Here comes the corner. Gray able to work it off a Rucker. Pulver will head over that way to take the first corner kick of the afternoon for Washington State. We're about 7 minutes to halftime now on the Palouse. Pulver sending it in. Headed by Maness. Reconnected. Couldn't tell if that touched Tetrizio or not. It's a goal for Washington State. Micaiah Maness had it first. Margie Tetrizio in the area, and the Cougars lead 1-0. Off the set piece corner. It was redirected by Margie Tetrizio. First action from Micaiah Maness, who you see there. We'll have a look at it in a second. 1-0 Washington State. Early seconds of the 39th minutes. Margie Tetrizio's third goal of the season.
Assisted by 23, Micaiah Maness.
And here we'll look back at this corner. This was beautifully set up by Pulver. So the one header, and then glancing DeTrizio for the Washington State score. 1-0 Cougars. Just over 6 to play in the first half. So Sydney Pulver, Micaiah Maness, the assisters. Now the Cougars have some rhythm with Pulver on the attack. Angled away to Hassenauer. Comes Rucker running to it. Gray with the speed to take it away. Cortez trying to earn it back. Venus, a shot wide. Maybe could have been a leading pass as well to Jordan Wormdahl. So the Cougars strike first. A 1-0 advantage for a Cougar team that's now +6 in goal differential this year. Cook heading it forward. Maness to Rican. Pestered by 2. Long run for Barton. Has the stride to get there. Barton again sending it forward. The pressure coming out of the Cougar midfield, and the forwards trying to put some on Oregon as well. Palmer kicks it out of play. Washington State throw-in. So the Cougars strike first.
Coming into the game for the Cougars, number 5.
We see the young freshman Jayla Land to take a spot on the Washington State attack in the final 5 minutes of the half. Cougars have made the shots count. 2 of the 4 on frame today. And DeTrizio the first. Maness out of play and a throw for Hassenauer. Soto calling for the ball, wants to build it from the back. DeTrizio took some of the designs of that away. Gomera Stevens, nice defensive effort. Goes out to Land, the new check-in. Trying to run Gray into the corner, but it'll be chased down by Coran and out the end line for a goal kick. Three minutes left in the first half. Oregon trying to build something after the Ducks. Some great possession for the first 30 minutes of the match. Cougars breaking through on a set piece. Cortez trying to weave through 3. Cook steps up, nice play by McLinn. Able to slide tackle it away. Gray got tangled up. They're going to say Gray, though, push Soto. Foul on the Cougars, their 4th. Keeps it with the Ducks right around midfield. 2 minutes to play to half. Ducks have a big opportunity here to set this up. Soto playing it forward. Finds a way back to Hassenauer, and a nice save by Zucchetto. With some crossing action and a good catch along the post for Marissa Zucchetto. Able to deny that cross. Could have been dangerous had it gone through. And the waning moments of the half, Washington State trying to build something. Tetrizio shuffled it down. Cortez one step out left. Barton, though, kicks it off of Cortez, and it misses the corner for a goal kick. All good breaks for the Cougars there. And a nice recovery by Khalees Barton.
1 minute.
Zucchetto's in no hurry with a 1-0 Washington State lead on a goal scored in the 39th minute by Margie Tetrizio. Foul advantage, Cougars. Maybe time for one last Washington State attack into the break. Todd Schulenberger's defense has stood up strong. Oregon just the victim of a set piece in this opening half of play. Some great defensive soccer we've seen. Loose in the box at the feet of Gray and McLinn, and it comes free to end our first 45 of play. Washington State, a 39th minute goal, Margie Tetrizio. And it's 1-0 Cougs after our first 45. We'll step aside. We'll be back for the second half of action in a bit here on Pac-12 Plus. Nice to see some fans back at the lower soccer field. It's been too long to be back at this beautiful facility. Washington State had its homecoming to the lower soccer field on Friday, a 3-2 win against Oregon State, and the Cougars lead after the first half of play 1-0. Here's a look at the first half stats. Cougars made the 4 shots count, 2 on frame, and really well done for Washington State to pick up the goal. Went through Margie Tetrizio and set up on a fantastic header by Makai Maness. Sydney Pulver, by the way, had the corner kick. That's another assist for Pulver on the season. He's making now 3, integral to that Cougar midfield. We played some great possession defense and set up that goal for Washington State in the 39th minute. So that's where we are after one half of play. You see the Cougars huddled up getting ready for the second half. Sides are switching on a beautiful afternoon in the Pacific Northwest. A little colder than it might come across on screen.
All right, fans,
there was a skip of snow yesterday. This crowd excited to get going into half number 2. Oregon's got a little work to do, and we'll see if Oregon has to change its attack a bit. First 30 minutes defensively really took away a lot of opportunity from Washington State, and a big part of that was the play in the midfield by the Ducks. But now they've got to hunt for an equalizer while trying to keep a potent Washington State offense off the board. So we reset in half number 2, and a pass-off target from Gomera Stevens was intended out for McLinn on the left side. Washington State has won 3 straight outright against the Ducks, looking to make it 4 consecutive, and Todd Schulenberger trying to make it 5 of 6 in his coaching career at Washington State over Oregon. He's had a really nice record against Pacific Northwest rivals Oregon, Oregon State, and Washington. We'll see the Huskies in town next weekend. A little shoving back and forth between Rucker and Gray. Rucker comes away with it, but a Cougar throw-in coming from midfield. So Gray stays on. along with Hernandez Represa in the second half. We saw Grayson Lynch get a nod early on for the Cougars. There's a tangle up and foul on Gomera Stevens. Got underneath Jai Cortez. But for now, Lynch stays on the sideline for Washington State. Mackenzie Frimpong-Ellertson, though, is back to start the second half for the Cougars. Talk about Oregon in a moment. So there you see Hasenauer working outside Wormdahl into the box. Cook with the left foot, too high. Good opportunity for the Ducks. And three big names in succession to set that up. Zoe Hasenauer, Jordan Wormdahl, Allie Cook. They're on the field for Oregon here in the second half. Wormdahl getting the second half start after she came off the bench in relief in the first half. Foul against Washington State. Gray into Rucker. Some tight whistles here in the first couple minutes of the second half. See the fight out of these two sides on this Pac-12 weekend and a Sunday matchup in Pullman. Wormdahl, or excuse me, rather, Cook hit the deck, got tied up with Maness. Wormdahl to the end line trying to angle it back in, and Maness takes away the crossing opportunity. Stepping up, Shaw. Coran top of the box. At the feet of McLinn. Cook keeps it alive. Wilden trying to clear it away. It's still free. Shaw tried to get to it. Cougars do fight it off. Frimpong-Ellertson trying to chase down Coran. Up to Cook. Cook, Wormdahl with a left foot. It's deflected off Maness. And then to Zucchetto. Wormdahl wanted a handball, but Maness did a good job of tucking in on that shot. Now 7 shots for the Ducks, 4 for the Cougars. And opening minute action of our second half. If you missed the first half, it was a goal off a set piece on a header in by Margie DiTrizio, first headed by Kaya Maness. This ball's going to die into the corner, and it'll be knocked out of play by McLinn. Cougars scoring on their only corner kick of the first half. Oregon had a pair. Fouls are even to each side, and both keepers have made one save. That went up, caught Hasenauer. We'll go back to the Cougars. Got Hasenauer in the right hand. We'll see the Cougars set up. Wilden trying to head it forward. Bennett racing with Palmer along the sideline. Bennett trying to spin it. Did get off a Shaw for a Cougar throw-in. The Ducks, we mentioned earlier this year, the undefeated trip in the Bay Area with a win against Cal, a tie against Stanford. That was a first in program history. Another first this year for the Ducks as they found themselves in the top 25 this season. Entered the month of March as the number 20 team in the country. First top 25 ranking in program histories. Trending up, this Oregon bunch. The header out off of Hasenauer is going to lead to a Cougar corner kick. Hasenauer wanted a foul.
And that's another Cougar.
So a second Cougar corner kick coming up. First time the Cougars had a corner kick opposite end of the field. Went to Menes Detrizio for the score. Short in from Gomera Stevens. Gets it back. Along the end line, trying to cross. Fought out by, I believe, Cook
And that's another
along the end line. We'll go to another corner kick. Eulalie Hernandez Represa to take the corner. Cougars have Menes at the back post. Collapse in. High for a header. Bennett heads it, but over net. Elise Bennett, who scored on Friday, a team-leading 6th goal of the season. Got a header to it that time, but missed above the crossbar. So we're through the first few minutes of the second half in Washington State. Generating a couple good opportunities on set pieces. Leah Freeman sent it away from the Oregon net. Hasenauer down the side. McGlynn intercepts it. Hernandez Represa trying to force it to the Washington State attack. It'll result in another throw-in. Oregon going to need a goal. The Ducks have allowed 1 goal or less in 13 of 14 games this season. That's where we sit right now. The 1-0 Washington State advantage, 39th minute. Margie Detrizio, goal on a header. Bodies in the midfield. It's a push against Washington State, or excuse me, against Oregon. But Cook got called for it in the midfield. Cougar bench was calling for it. Washington State loving being at home. Outright 4 consecutive wins at the lower soccer field. 7-0-2 here over the last 9 matches played at this facility. Bennett. Punch to the right foot wide of the near side post. Nice job just to spin around and get the shot opportunity. A 6 shot for Washington State. 1 back now of Oregon 7. Washington State wanting to net a couple goals. The Cougars had kind of idled on offense. Of course, the COVID pause, a hiccup in the month of March that made things tough. Cougars hadn't scored more than a single goal since back in February. And Elise Bennett had a pair in a 2-0 win against Utah at Washington State's indoor facility. But the Cougars in 4 of 5 matches in February scored multiple goals. Then had just 1 at 23rd ranked Washington, 1 in a victory in overtime at Colorado, and then were shut out a weekend ago in Los Angeles by UCLA and USC. Of course, UCLA, the eventual Pac-12 regular season conference champions. That broke up a big stretch for the Stanford Cardinal. 5 consecutive the Cardinal had won in the Pac-12. But UCLA moving that down to Los Angeles, a trophy. Wilden was in a 50-50 with Shaw. You can hear pressure being called out by Graham Abel on his side, and really trying to get his team to force this onto the attack. He said at Washington, Oregon never capitalized on its great start, and that could be a similar sentiment today, to where the Ducks had a good beginning in the first 30 minutes or so of this match. The cross rolls into Zucchetto. He characterized Friday's match as scrappy with Washington after the initial 15 minutes and said it was hard to get control back. So that's what he's trying to get for the Ducks now, some more control. A little bit of a miss on the header, and it would feel for right now, though, that Washington State has Oregon on heels a bit. Cougars had the 2 corner kick opportunities. Elise Bennett a shot here as well. That's how the Cougars have put up a couple shots here to start the second half. Cook along the side to wiggle away from a couple defenders. Bennett trying to spin it to Cook. Rucker steps in front. Right back towards Gray. Got past the right hip of Rucker. Gray steps left. Middle, Frimpong, Ellertson, back to Hernandez-Repreza. Trying to play it out to Bennett. Nice feed left side. Elise one step behind the Oregon defense. Beautiful pass by Lely Hernandez-Repreza, who has 5 career assists and was a captain of El Salvador's U20 team last spring at the CONCACAF Championships. But no opportunity for Washington State with Bennett a step behind the Oregon defense, and Wilden called pushing into the back of Hasenauer. Hasenauer just 1 shot away now from 7th all-time at Oregon. Came in tied for 8th in career assists with 10. Officials going to slow things here as ball was kind of creeping forward. They're going to go ahead and mark where it needs to come back to. So here it'll be pulled back by Croy Soto. Washington State didn't want that set coming from inside the midfield mark. Gray had the turn stuffed by Rucker and the throw to Oregon. That's been a good battle of midfielders today. Didasco's play to the far side. Lands at Hasenauer. There's the shot just wide. Hasenauer had Zucchetto diving. And the shot that puts the junior 7th all-time at Oregon had designs of trying to knot this game up. Sydney Pulver will return for Washington State. Lely Hernandez-Repreza to the sideline. A look back at this shot for Zoe Hasenauer from the top of the 18. Just a little too wide. Officials going to stop things here as we return back to the field of play. Cook went into a collision with Washington State's defense. Trainer's going to come take a look as Cook took one above the shoulders. And they're just going to bring her off to check and make sure everything's okay. Normal protocol to protect these players a bit extra. And Jordan Wormdahl will come in for Cook. So they'll check on her, make sure everything's okay. Hopefully it is for the sophomore forward who scored a team best 3 goals for Oregon this year. Ducks need her here in the second half. Gray. Gray working to the box, gets shouldered inside the box, no call. Looked like a tough play by True Didasco to keep the Cougars away. Now a card's coming out. Gray chased down Didasco and is going to get a caution. True, a big smile. As when Gray was working into the box, Washington State thought maybe it earned an opportunity at a penalty. Gray was really working in towards net and took some contact. The two players battling for possession. So Oregon has it now, 15 minutes into half number 2. Ducks and Cougars in a Northwest rivalry. O'Mara Stevens weaving between two, passing outside to Wilden. Step up out of the back. Curran able to deny the opportunity. Now has it with a little room. Tries to lead Wormdahl. Hit twice by Washington State. Foul is signaled. And it's against Oregon. No, a player offside, excuse me. Don't think it was Wormdahl. I think it was one step further for Chai Cortez. Does look like on the far side, Allie Cook is getting ready to check back in for Oregon. So checked out okay with the training staff. Great to see that. Out wide for Wormdahl. Racing the ball to the corner. It's going to be a Washington State goal kick, and here comes subs. For both sides,
Coming in for Oregon,
Alyssa Gray will be subbed by Grayson Lynch. Oregon will bring back Allie Cook, and Jordan Wormdahl will have another breather for the Ducks. Wormdahl is battling back off of injury. My guess would be probably not 100% yet. But trying to play some tough minutes for Oregon this afternoon. Didasco up ahead. Hardy trying to get a look at it and crashed into a Cougar. Bridget Reekin will reset it for Washington State. The back of Barton, Reekin, Maness, and McLean's played really well once again for Todd Schulenberger's Cougars. Gomera Stevens was fronted, had it taken right away by Caitlin Shaw. Up ahead, Hardy in a race for it, was off. Flag went up. Zucchetto came out to get it. And Eden Hardy, the senior, just didn't quite pace that perfectly. Hardy, who's attempted a single season best for her career, 19 shots, yet to get off a shot today in our 63 minutes of action. Lynch trying to think outside. Frimpong Ellertson heading that way. It puts the pressure on the Ducks. Frimpong Ellertson got it back to the box. Cook looking for somewhere to go. Swarmed. Feeds it out far. Hassenauer. Chance to move middle of the field. It caught Wilden, and the Cougars grab possession. I think Wilden even was looking around there wondering if a handball call would come out. Wilden again a play to control it. Too strong of a touch. Back and forth. It goes in the midfield. One of these teams trying to sustain a possession. Cook to the middle of the field. Barton trying to hedge it off. Zucchetto's there, diving over the top of Zucchetto is Cortez. Official's going to stop it here, and I think that got Zucchetto. Zucchetto slow to get up. Cortez hurtled over the top late, trying to make a run at that rolling ball, and a yellow card's been issued to Chai Cortez. And you hate to see this. Marissa Zucchetto in 2019 had an injury that ended her season when she transferred to Washington State after that year, and it was a collision where she took some cleats to the face sliding for a ball very similar to what we just saw and required 27 stitches back in 2019, but is sitting up here with the athletic training staff in between the 6 and the 18. Maybe a bit shaken, Zucchetto, but getting up and going to be able to jog around for just a moment. Officials will hold it while the athletic training staff talks to her. Meanwhile, Allie Hay, the redshirt freshman from Vancouver, British Columbia, has gotten up and just warming up in the Cougar bench area. So we've now seen a yellow card to each side, with Chai Cortez picking up one. Zucchetto's going to be good to stay in for Washington State. And great to see all the way around. All good for Marissa Zucchetto. Zucchetto transferred from Texas Tech. Prior to that injury in 2019, went 7-1 with 4 shutouts and 9 starts. Had the program's record for goals against average at .7. Will stay in net for the Cougars. After the stoppage, we continue on. A string of headers nearly gained consistent possession for Washington State, but it flips to Oregon. Shaw through Didasco out to Cortez. Cortez trying to play Barton outside, and nice help by Bridget Reekin. $18 fouls between the two sides. A chippy Sunday afternoon in Pullman. This match pretty neck and neck. Cougars scored off a 39th minute set piece. Lynch trying to angle it off of Hardy. Hardy sends it into the box. Cook the header, took contact. Cleared away for a moment by Miness, served back in. The Cougar defense holds once again. Cook collided with Miness last opportunity. Will go at it again with a right foot, too high. A little off frame to the right as well. Allie Cook putting some pressure on Washington State's defense. All-time is tied for 7th at Oregon with 5 game-winning goals. Right now, Oregon on the hunt for an equalizer. Hardy running right side of the box with a right foot cross. Cleared over net by Barton. Here comes a corner for the Ducks. All Khalees Barton could do there, just make sure that it didn't land to a backside crasher. Eden Hardy sets up this opportunity for the Ducks to be taken by Chai Cortez. Hardy setting up right inside the goal area in front of the keeper, Marissa Zucchetto. Hasenauer trying to flip it in. Bennett heads it away. Right-footed shot deflected. Didasco was trying to knock it in there. Cougars had a couple bodies in front. Will flip a corner to the near side corner. So Oregon going to get a couple opportunities here, and from the near side, True Didasco will have the corner kick. Her goal March 12th was the first in her career against Arizona State. Trying to serve up an equalizer. Far side, Cook took some contact again. Bennett chases it down, trying to get it away from Hardy. Does successfully while keeping it in the field of play. Back to the box, Cook, headed by Reekin. Towards the corner, or how about that clear by McLinn off the foot of Hardy, and a Washington State throw-in. really well done. And
Coming in for the Cougars,
we'll see the first half hero, Margie DeTrizio, come in for Mackenzie Frimpong Ellertson. Has the lone goal in this match. Washington State on the hunt for a second opportunity. Oregon, the quick reset. There's a tangle of the feet. Advantage has been signaled for the Ducks, as Hasenauer's still down. It's going to stay with Oregon. And now pops back up, ready to go. A 9th foul on Washington State. 10 shots for the Ducks. Only one that's required a save from Zucchetto. This will be set up by Cortez. Right in at Zucchetto. Cook gets a foot on it. It's loose in front of net. Wilden able to clear it offline. What a stand defensively. Throw will stay with Oregon. Big opportunity for the Ducks and a fantastic serve in. Allie Cook was in the area and looked to have a chance to finish it for an equalizer. Some tense moments, and the Ducks mounting a great attack here in the middle half of this second half. So the Cougars weather that storm and now will build possession from the back. Back and forth, Maness, McLean. Now Bennett finds it for Gomera Stevens, and the Cougars will be sure to flip play back onto Oregon's defensive half. About 20 minutes left for the Ducks to find a goal to even this. Oh, so close just over a minute ago. Didesco into the corner. Maness looking for a place to go. Didn't want to just offer it out of play. Hasenauer back into the middle. Here's Didesco. Right-footed shot past Zucchetto. And the goal. True Didesco. Second goal of the season for the senior. And we're even in the 71st minute. We mentioned on Didasco's corner that the goal on the 12th was the first of her career. The second one, a big one. Draws it even in Pullman this afternoon, 1-1 at the lower soccer field.
Oregon goal, scored in the 70th minute, number 5, True Didasco. In for the Cougars, number 7, Alewi Hernandez Represa.
Along the near side, Lynch trying to run to the reset, and Oregon's got some new life. But the goal for the Ducks, bringing a surge of energy. And a look back here. Hasenauer got it to Didasco, a setback right for the right-footed shot.
Jordan Wormdahl.
And in cross post past Zucchetto. Zucchetto allowing just 1 goal per match this season, just a hair over that. 72% save percentage for the Cougar keeper. But a great play by True Didasco. Leads to her second goal of the season and a 1-1 tie. As we head into the back third of the second half. Great action on this Sunday in Pullman. Allie Cook with a right foot. It's going to bounce wide of frame, and Zucchetto will still play it off the hop. In the midfield, the header bounces back towards DeTrizio. Be advanced upfield. Rican's got a play on it to clear wide, and does back towards the center field stripe. So Graham Abel, a former assistant to the U.S. women's national team, first year at Oregon, trying to lead the Ducks to something that hasn't occurred in Pullman since 2010, and that's a win at the lower soccer field. For now, Oregon's even it up at a goal aside. And Oregon senses a couple important matches today and next week as well. We mentioned the RPI at 69. A lot for this team to build on, and you can hear the Cougars really wanting to push the tempo. I think offensively, Washington State's felt a little surprised now, and a push by Detrezio is going to lead to a foul and send it back to Oregon. But now Oregon, with the great defense that we told you has allowed 1 goal or less in 13 of 14 games this year, Ducks believing late in this contest that they can now come back to steal one from the Cougars on this Sunday. Cortez turning left, but Khalees Barton with the nice back touch to get it out of there. Gomera Stevens up ahead. Bennett one-on-one, settles it. Right foot, oh, just high. What an opportunity for Elise Bennett. Pretty run on the setup by Makamai Gomera Stevens. And all Leah Freeman could do was watch once it sailed towards the crossbar and just missed. Alyssa Gray back for Washington State. That's a signature run out for Todd Schulenberger's style of play. The Cougars backed it around and had an opportunity. You watch this build. How about that opportunity for Bennett? Just sailed on her at the end, and see the frustration from the senior who thought she had a chance for a go-ahead. Got about 15 minutes left in regulation. A foul here called against Washington State as Rucker was trying to cross the field and got tangled up. Great match today in Pullman. The goal by Didasco in the 71st minute evens it at 1-1. Gomera Stevens. So it takes a couple bounces out of the confines of the lower soccer field. Oregon bench stirs once again to get warm. Seen minimal subs to this point. Hernandez Represa is back for Washington State along the back line. Wilden trying to turn it. Shaw out of the midfield. Goes right to Cook, right back to Shaw. Right-footed shot. Zucchetto dives. It's past her. Wide of the post, but another opportunity. That time, Caitlin Shaw had the assist on Didasco's first career goal against Arizona State. For Caitlin Shaw, that last shot was her 5th of the season. See this opportunity here. Oregon has had some great opportunities here in the later portions of the second half. Ducks fighting to try to split a weekend here in the Northwest. I think the Cougars, the sentiment coming in as a foul called along the far side. The new check-in for Washington State. Crashing into that play, Sydney Pulver. I shouldn't say super new. She was in about 10 minutes back. But Pulver called for the foul, and he'll set it up for Oregon. But to complete that thought, the Cougars, I think the sentiment was coming into this weekend, needed 3 victories over this weekend and next week against Washington to feel pretty good about an NCAA tournament run. Oregon trying to spoil that. Bennett, long run out for this. It's going to have too much pace, maybe make it to Freeman. The only question was, would it stay wide of the box, and it didn't. Palmer into the midfield. Gray takes a shove. And against True Didasco, add the equalizer. So the Cougars will get to set it up. They're going to direct it and make sure it gets set in the right space. Eulalie Hernandez Represa to set this one up for Washington State. But he's standing top of the box. Hernandez Represa kind of snuck down the left side. Inside the 18 with the right foot. Massabodi's left-footed shot Pulver. And that was kept away by True Didasco. Back into the box. Bennett looking for a header. Bodies collide. Cleared by Rucker. Cougars going to try to hold it in. About 12 minutes left in regulation. Gray spins it around one. Right foot. It's held up. It's loose. Bodies everywhere. No goal. It's saved by Freeman. Wow. And now the clock will stop. Freeman shaken up. Gray had the shot. It bounced off a defender, trickled free, was rolling towards the line, and then held there. Let's take a look at it again. As Freeman is back up, it'll be a goal kick coming for Oregon, so nothing else to report on the field. There's the shot. Wow. Caught the defender in the back and then spun to a stop right at net. Cougars feel like they've had two opportunities in the Bennett shot and Gray's try at a go-ahead that have now slipped through their fingers. Great action approaching final 10 minutes of regulation. Been treated to a great one. Gomera Stevens looking out wide. There's another hard collision. Bennett is fouled. This is outside of the 18. So let's see the Cougars set this one up. Crowd coming alive knowing it's a big opportunity from not that far beyond the 18. Cougars needing a set piece to try to grab a lead. 10 Washington State shots, 13 for Oregon. Eulalie Hernandez Represa with Makamai Gomera Stevens off her left. Oregon just a two-player wall. Hernandez Represa. Pulver got a head on it. I think it glanced the back of a Duck defender for a Cougar corner kick. It might have caught a piece of Croy Soto. So now Hernandez Represa takes it into the corner for Washington State's fourth corner kick of the afternoon. Both sides with 4 corners. Here it comes. Bennett, header, backside, save Freeman. Another big save by the freshman. Last week's Pac-12 goalkeeper of the week coming up with some big-time stops for the Ducks down the stretch. Still 1-1 in Pullman. Cortez trying to get around Barton. Now Hasenauer over to Cortez. It flips right side. A shot from distance. Zucchetto gets to it, collided with Cook, and then dives to the ball. Allie Cook right in the area. Boy, we've seen great opportunities to either side. Both keepers coming up big here in the later portions. A bounce to Bennett. Tries to shield off one as it stolen from in front by Shaw. Caitlin Shaw upfield. Little miscommunication. And it's turned back down to Elise Bennett. Bennett, nobody on the other side for a cross, trying to earn a corner instead. Gets locked up, stays alive, maybe tripped once. Lynch trying to get control in the box as it comes out to Gray. Gomera Stevens was trying to work. Now Gray's turn in towards the corner. Comes a look at a cross. Gray with a right foot into the box. Soto knocks it away. Gomera Stevens, another opportunity for the Cougars to re-rack it. It's over Wilden, far side corner. And Rucker's going to try to turn it away and will for a Washington State throw-in. 8 minutes in regulation remaining. Cougars and Ducks. Washington State on the attack. And Lynch lost control of it. It'll come back to Oregon. Subs coming. 2 for the Ducks. Jordan Wormdahl and True Didasco had the equalizer will be out. Eden Hardy and Sophia Venus back in for the Ducks. Keela McLean back in for Washington State. Marion Wilden will get a breather. Chess match with 7 minutes remaining in regulation. Venus trying to get it back to Rucker on the throw-in. Gomera Stevens wanted to hold it in, but Coran sends it forward. Very, very even match today. 13 shots for Oregon, 11 for Washington State. 3 saves for Leah Freeman, including 2 big ones of late. And Marissa Zucchetto's had 2 for Washington State. Mackenzie Frimpong Ellertson in for Grayson Lynch. So the sophomores switch spots. Both sides have also had 4 corner kicks, and each have committed 13 fouls, with each drawing a yellow card as well. Lots of good action in this 1-1 even score. Throw Khalees Barton. Frimpong Ellertson trying to light tap to Pulver. Was enough to be taken away by Venus. Cook wanted to turn it. Sent away by Menes. Oregon will set for another throw. Tense moments approaching as we've got about 5 minutes left in regulation. Venus off her own teammate. Connected with Cortez, and the Cougars will throw it in again. Ball's hanging around this middle third. No whistle with Bennett on the turf. Cortez being challenged by Pulver. Shaw sends it out wide. Oregon's going to reverse field. McLean, who just re-entered. Pass to build it out of the back with Rieken. Three Cougars chasing it to midfield, and it's McLean who steps it away. Gomera Stevens, ball at her feet, can carry forward. Out wide Bennett, left corner of the box. Tries to step in. Soto slows that play up. Bennett will retry. Going towards the end line. Soto hits the deck. Nothing's there. Soto's still down. Gomera Stevens near the goal area, and she had it taken away by Shaw. Now the officials will stop things as Soto is still down outside of the box. And they'll call the Oregon trainer out. Croy Soto, the sophomore defender, outside of the box down by the Cougar bench. Leah Freeman, the goalkeeper, coming out to check on the defensive anchor for the Ducks. Has played in every minute of every match this season. But is slow to get up in this spot for the Ducks. How we got here. Let's start with the first half goal for Washington State in the 39th minute. Margie DeTrizio, thanks to Mekhi Maness on a Sidney Pulver corner kick. It was header Maness, then DeTrizio in the goal area, deflected it home. Stayed 1-0 Cougars all the way to minute number 71. True Didasco on assist from Zoe Hasenauer. And since then, both teams trying to gain control. Washington State has had a couple shots. Oregon's had a couple shots. It's been that kind of evenly matched afternoon. We'll reset it in the 86th minute. Here's Pulver. Able to collect that loose ball. Move a square pass out to Gomera Stevens. Trying to gain some space. Hernandez Represa sends it in with the right foot. Bennett's on the backside. Had to try to make sure she stayed on. And then it's out the end line for an Oregon goal kick. Maybe an opportunity there for Washington State. But Elise Bennett couldn't quite time up receiving the pass from Hernandez Represa. Leah Freeman will send it away from the Oregon net. Big match, lots of implications this Sunday in Pullman. These two teams know it. Could we be destined for overtime? Allie Cook bringing it near side Venus. Cortez across, but was offside. So 3 minutes to take us to the end of regulation. Washington State's played in overtime twice this year, a win and a tie for the Cougars. Oregon has been in overtime 4 times and tied in all 4 of those matches. Those are still those 1-point results. Cougars really looking for a winning result, though, trying to make a late push towards the NCAA tournament. The shot from distance from Hasenauer too high. In this match, moved into 7th all-time in shots in Oregon history. But it's a Didasco and a DeTrizio goal for Oregon and Washington State, respectively, that have us locked at 1. A foul in the midfield, a push-off called against Cook into the back of Rican. We're under 2 minutes in regulation. Gomera Stevens wants to make this setup count. Calling everyone forward to the top of the 18, kicks it ahead. A little wide of Bennett. Excuse me, that was Hernandez Represa. Now Gomera Stevens on the far sideline. Trying to reverse field. Takeaway by Hardy. Angles it along the sideline. Hernandez Represa will serve it back in. Bennett, a header that's going to be wide of post. And Leah Freeman scoops it up for the Ducks. Going to hear that 1 minute call out here at the lower soccer field.
1 minute remaining in regulation. 1 minute.
All tied at 1, regulation action. Bounces past Bennett. Curran up to Cook. Can Oregon find a late attack? Cook towards the sideline. Last to touch it was the challenging Maness. Throw in towards Hardy. Maness heads it out of play. It'll be another throw. Maness now is down and doesn't appear to be getting up quickly. Officials will stop things. Maness now is up and walking away from it. So now just seconds remaining in regulation. Gomera Stevens challenging out of the corner. It's still an Oregon throw-in. Luckily for Washington State, didn't miss the corner for a set-piece opportunity. Last attack of regulation is going to belong to the Ducks. Cook crosses it. There's no one backside. And we are headed to overtime in Pullman.
3, 2,
One aside, the Cougars strike in the first half. Oregon equalizes. And now we've got a golden goal situation in Pullman. We'll take a timeout before the first sudden victory overtime period. You're watching Pac-12 Women's Soccer from Pullman on this Sunday afternoon on Pac-12 Plus. We're just a few minutes away from overtime on the Palouse, Washington State, and Oregon. Some Pac-12 soccer this weekend. There's a limited capacity inside the stadium. The crowd growing bigger outside of the lower soccer field as well as below the John C. Scott Hall. The fans filing to take a look. These stats updated now through regulation. And what you see is it's pretty darn even between the Cougs and the Ducks. What we would expect headed to overtime. If you missed earlier in the match, Margie DeTrizio scored for Washington State in the 39th minute on a header. 71st minute answer came from True Didasco. And then we had some very exciting moments down the stretch in regulation. Both teams had their chances to take a lead. But both keepers, Leah Freeman for the Ducks, Marissa Zucchetto for the Cougars, came up big. And so now we play sudden death. Golden goal soccer. It's coming up in Pullman. We've got overtime, period number 1, between Oregon and Washington State on this Sunday afternoon in just a couple minutes here on Pac-12 Plus. Washington State, the home team in this overtime matchup now on a Sunday in Pullman. Oregon and WSU, 1-1. Cougars this season 1-0-1 in overtime. The victory coming March 27th at Colorado, 1-0 in the first overtime on a golden goal. Then back in February, played to a 2-overtime scoreless tie with Utah. Oregon on the other side, they've played only to ties in overtime. They've gone the full 110 minutes. I should say they had played only in ties to overtime. Not factor in the Washington match on Friday, a double overtime loss in the 106th minute. So every match Oregon's been in that's gone to OT this year has been played to the second overtime period with 1 loss and 4 ties. So the Cougars have grabbed 4 points out of overtime matches, and Oregon the same. So here we go. Any goal will win it. The final road game of the season for Oregon, trying to win in Pullman for the first time since 2010. Todd Schulenberger, 4 wins, 5 tries with the Ducks, and a foul called against Washington State will push it in Oregon's favor. True Didasco, who had the equalizer, is back in for the Ducks. Got a breather at the end of regulation. Graham Abel watching from in front of his bench area where he's up on his feet now. Spun around to Bennett, middle of the field, Gray. Gray looking for a soft touch. Hassenauer takes it away. Gomera Stevens working against Palmer over there. Tries to throw in quickly to Gray. Gray and Soto into the corner. Soto for Oregon, trying to angle it out. Gomera Stevens keeps it in. Pulver has it taken away by Hassenauer. Early possession of overtime is all Cougars. Palmer trying to head one. Frimpong Ellerton couldn't get there. Hasenauer down the sideline. Miness lost it for a second. Cook looking back for Hardy. With loose in the middle of the field. Pulver's going to turn it for the Cougars. Here comes Bennett. Looking to angle it to Gray. Gray marked by Soto once again. Trying to earn an opportunity to cross or a corner. Gets the cross off, but there's nobody home for Washington State. This will head out. Lely Hernandez Represa will be able to throw it in for Washington State. Most notable, the draws for Oregon this year. Double overtime against Stanford on the road. The defending national champions who the Ducks also knocked off back in February 2-1. That in regulation. Wilden trying to keep it alive in the box. Falling down over the top of it, Hardy. Cougar fans don't like it. There's a foul called against Marin Wilden. Fifteenth foul on Washington State. This is your classic Sunday battle in conference play. There's some fouls, both teams really trying to earn this result. Cook, too much pace middle of the field. Hardy was chasing to it. Early in the match, Oregon really owned the 50-50 balls. Here's another one the Ducks take away with Didasco. Down the side. Chai Cortez trying to cross off of Rican. It's going to stay along the sideline and throw it. Instead of Cortez taking the throw, it'll be Rucker jogging over. The Duck freshman into the sophomore Cook. The side of the 18, spinning end line. Rucker tries to cross once again, but the cross fielded by Zucchetto. Has a chance to flip the field. A few Ducks still in her way in the box, so she pulls it back to make sure she's got room. Gray headed it on forward, but the Oregon backline, all that was waiting for it. Wilden, big header up front. Bennett to Gray. Tips it in front to herself, and it's fought off by Palmer out the end line here for a Cougar corner.
And that's another Cougar corner kick.
Set pieces crucial in overtime, and Washington State will have the first. About halfway through our first overtime period. Ileli Hernandez Represa will take the corner kick for Washington State. Elise Bennett, player to watch, lurking far post, top of the goal area box. Hernandez Represa serves it there. It's first off of Hasenauer. Frimpong Ellertson's shot high and a bit wide. So that's what the Cougars get off the corner kick opportunity. Ducks weather that set piece opportunity. It's been Washington State largely with the opportunities here in overtime. I think either team today would be all too satisfied with the draw. Both really want that victory, and Rucker cut the legs out from Bennett. Fouls draw even again at 15. Ileli Hernandez Represa will get to reset it once again. Gets us ready down in front of us. Finds the box. Headed away by Hasenauer. Gomera Stevens has Gray, backside header. Gray was not signaled off, but missed, as it was timed perfectly by the freshman from Gig Harbor, who had 28 goals in her high school career. I should say her high school senior season. Much better than the career, but nearly had an opportunity for the golden goal. Midfield win for Wilden. Go back and forth. Maness up ahead to Gray. Trying to head it out wide for Gomera Stevens, but Palmer will send it to the midfield stripe. Kaya Maness sending ahead. Frimpong Ellertson locked up with Shaw. Shaw gets away. Oregon wants the foul this time, no whistle. Bennett, too soft to the middle. Didasco takes it away. Counter opportunity for the Ducks. Hasenauer, middle seam, outside Didasco had the equalizer. Under 2 minutes left, first overtime. Didasco the cross, kept away by McGlynn. Just over a minute and a half in overtime number 1. Megan Rucker throws it back towards midfield. Coran sends it in. Maness field it forward. Frimpong Ellertson. Hasenauer defended by Wilden. McGlynn steps it away from Hardy. Cougars trying to settle down the possession. About a minute left in the first overtime. Oregon's going to have another opportunity to get things cooking.
1 minute remaining.
Cougars struck first.
1 minute.
Ducks equalized 71st minute. 32 minutes after the Cougars grabbed a 1-0 lead. Now in the first overtime, horns are locked between Washington State and Oregon. Cook spins around 2. Top of the 18 left foot, a slow roller that's easily fielded by Zucchetto. Trying to flip the field for the Cougars, cannot. Shaw and Hasenauer kept it on the attacking half. Frimpong Ellertson, Bennett on the run. Trying to get to it, corner of the box, does. Here's Bennett off of Coran. Has to spin it with about 15 seconds left in overtime, and the Cougars are racing to try to get this set piece.
9,
Under 10 now, not sure they'll get it off.
5,
Hernandez Represa, quick set. Bennett with a right foot. It's into the box, but that ends our first overtime of play. Anxious moments in Pullman, still tied at 1, and we've got one more overtime period to go. The Ducks and the Cougars. How about this Sunday soccer action on Pac-12+. The onlookers to this one, checking out a game that is tied at 1 after one overtime period. Means we've got one 10-minute stretch left for Oregon and Washington State to try to find a golden goal. Trevor Williams with you from the lower soccer field in Pullman, the rest of our Pac-12+ crew. So glad that you're spending your Sunday with us. And here we go. Oregon with possession for OT number 2. Ducks will now attack to the right, Cougars to the left. A foul to push it Washington State's way. Shots still almost even. Oregon's racked up 15 of them, but 3 Marissa Zucchetto saves. Cougars with 13 shots of their own, but 3 Leah Freeman saves on the Ducks side. Two teams that are looking for a winning result today in Pullman. Especially Washington State, who by RPI standards is just a hair of a margin closer to the NCAA tournament picture than Oregon. Cougars maybe just a couple slots outside of that top 48 teams in college soccer. Elise Bennett towards the end line. Got it off the foot of Rucker, and here comes a Cougar corner kick. Washington State had 2 corner opportunities in overtime number 1. The second one abbreviated, though, as they raced to set it up with under 10 seconds left. Eulalie Hernandez Represa will have more time to set this one. A stack of Cougars outside of the 6. And the one inside is Grayson Lynch. Now they spread out for the set piece. Header by Bennett, but it's wide of target. Both these teams at the end of his 2-match weekend. Who has it left in the tank? With about 8 minutes to try to find the golden goal. Lynch trying to race it down. Gomera Stevens around 1. Little room to carry. Lynch down to Gomera Stevens. A soft touch. Rolls back out towards Hasenauer and McLean. Hasenauer keeps it forward for Hardy. Hardy trying to get around Maness. Nice play by Micaiah Maness. Takes it right away, back for the Cougars. Gomera Stevens through Gray. Here comes an Oregon throw. That was a big takeaway by Micaiah Maness. Hardy could have been gone down that sideline if Maness wasn't there. Officials are going to stop the clock as the ball comes in from midfield. The last clear by Maness went over the press box and well out of play. Now they'll start it back up. McLean headed it right back for another throw-in for Palmer. Cook took some contact. Cougars say no. McLean thought maybe it was embellished, but the foul will lead to an Oregon set piece. The corner outside the 18. Ducks will set it with Chai Cortez. Had a direct corner kick for a goal back on March 28th. Here as everyone setting up wide left for the set piece. Cortez goes that way towards Cook. Headed away by Rican. Back into the box it goes. Hardy connected once. Maness clears it away. Here comes Grayson Lynch racing on the near side, spinning with Palmer. Little hand fighting. Gomera Stevens tries a tackle. Would have been advantage Oregon, and it will now be called advantage Oregon. Gomera Stevens just missed on that try to get it back. Under 6 minutes left. On the hunt for a golden goal in Pullman. Second overtime. Another Oregon set piece, this time from distance. Eulalie Hernandez Represa will let it roll out. This will allow Marissa Zucchetto and the Cougars a goal kick. Cougars possessed the first overtime. Ducks with most of the possession here in overtime number 2. Zucchetto and the Cougs want to change that now. Foul on the 50-50 ball at midfield. Gomera Stevens wanted to reset it where she was, but asked to come back over to where Hernandez Represa now stands. Pulver was trying to get to that 50-50 ball. At stake, Washington State. 3 consecutive outright wins over Oregon. Cougars have a header from Pulver. It goes wide far side. Gray able to get to it in front of Cortez. Gray off of Rucker towards the corner flag, and Rucker saves it in play. This will turn it for the Ducks with Cortez. Out sprinting left. What a play by Hernandez Represa. Nice stop to slow it and allow the Cougars to set back up defensively. Over halfway through overtime number 2. Allie Cook back middle of the field. Has room out right. Hasenauer. 1v1. McLinn's there. Knocks it off Hasenauer. It'll stay into the corner. Miness and McLinn converge on it. Gomera Stevens out to Miness. Bringing it up to Lynch. Cougars, a counter. Lynch and Soto. Nice positioning by Soto. Able to fight off Lynch, and a foul called on Grayson Lynch, pushing into the back of Croy Soto. 35 combined fouls in this double overtime matchup. And under 4 minutes to play to a draw or decide a winner. Gomera Stevens tried to keep it in play, desperately looking to start possession for Washington State. McLinn, Gomera Stevens. Now Hasenauer tries to get into Rican. Bennett could flip it with field to play without right. Goes towards Gray, runs into it there. Gray looking to settle, make some room. Steps left, Bennett middle of the field. Knocked by Hasenauer. And good Oregon defensive possession to keep it away from the Cougars. 2.5 in overtime number 2. This Northwest rivalry coming down to the bitter end. Elise Bennett, right side of the box, tries a cross. Here's a corner.
And that's another Cougar.
Off Chardonnay Coran. Elele Hernandez Represa. Sensing her side running out of opportunities with about 2 minutes left in double OT. Corner kick. And it's caught on the fly by Leah Freeman. Another big moment for the freshman keeper for Oregon. Ducks have played to 4 double OT ties, remember. The lone loss on Friday, 106th minute against Washington. Graham Abel, an over-the-shoulder catch in the bench area to allow Rucker to throw in. Hernandez Represa as it volleys around the middle of the field. Cortez trying to get to it. Didasco pushes in. We're just over a minute left in double overtime. Both sides trying to dig deep. Elise Bennett trying to gain some space, looking middle of the field. It's back towards Palmer. Will clear it to Freeman in the net. A little bit of a miss kick by Freeman. Gomera Stevens comes up with it. Freeman's hurt, can't get up. Gray, top of the 18, tries to get it around. It's pinballing, and now Rucker going to try to clear it out wide. Still, Freeman can't get up at the top of the 18, and now they stop the clock. Freeman grabbing at the right ankle with less than a minute in double overtime, and you hate to see this. Was looking to kick it away, and you could tell something wasn't right as the kick was offline on the ground. And heads up by the Oregon back line to come in and save it again. In regulation, Mia Palmer made a fantastic stop on an Alyssa Gray shot. And there was another opportunity for Washington State, and it would have been Gray once again. And the effort by Freeman as well, who was visibly calling, saying she was not able to get up, did get back up to make the stop on the second opportunity, and then went right back to the turf. That's a huge fighter spirit for the freshman Leah Freeman, who did everything she could to make the play, and her in the back line saving this for the time being at a 1-1 tie for Oregon. Ducks would still, in theory, have an opportunity to mount one last attack as well, as that's what the Cougars are thinking through at this point. It's likely to be Charlotte Brisley if Leah Freeman can't continue in net for the Ducks. And Brisley is running towards midfield to check in for Oregon. The redshirt sophomore from Excelsior, Minnesota, will be tasked with trying to keep this match at 1-1 in the final 45 seconds. And you hope for Leah Freeman that this injury does not last very long, but she'll be carried off by that Oregon staff, assisted by former Cougar Rachel Doyle. The three-time All-Pac-12 second teamer helping carry her freshman goalkeeper off the field. So we'll reset with not much left to go here in Pullman. Official time on the clock here in the stadium is at 1:09:16. That leaves 44 seconds in this match between the Ducks and the Cougars. As it stands right now, True Didaska's goal in the 71st minute, the equalizer. Ducks feel a chance to mount an attack. Cougars might have to just play for the draw now. Into the corner, it's knocked out by Gomera. Stevens actually touched Hardy last. Cougars can flip it for one more attack if they can keep possession. Kaimanes, the throw-in off line to Grayson Lynch. Oregon's got 10 seconds left. Into Cook, turned by Wilden. Wants to get it upfield quickly. But this is going to be a draw in Pullman this afternoon. Washington State and Oregon. It ends 1-1, and these teams will split the result today at Lower Soccer Field. Goal in the first half for Washington State belonged to Margie DeTrizio in the 39th minute. Sydney Pulver, the corner kick, a header from the top of the box by Micaiah Menes, and then Margie DeTrizio finished it for the Cougars. For Oregon, the answer came in the second half, a 71st minute goal by True Didasco. Leah Freeman, some huge saves down the stretch, and none bigger than the play she made in the final minute of action after hurting herself trying to kick one away from goal. Still got back up, denied the Cougars, and helped ensure that Oregon would get out of here with a decision. So both teams get the tie. Washington State, not exactly what the Cougars were looking for to cap the weekend, but that takes us into the final week of Pac-12 play. Rivalry week coming up. Oregon goes home to take on Oregon State. The Cougars stay here to take on Washington. As today, our final 1-1 in Pullman. Thanks for being with us for our entire Pac-12 Plus crew. This is Trevor Williams saying have a pleasant rest of your Sunday afternoon. And we'll see you back this week for Cougar baseball. And then next weekend you can catch the Cougars and the Huskies on the Pac-12 networks.